Chapter 6. Logan's POV. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of the clock echoed through the whole area, signaling the end of this year and the beginning of a new one. All around the world, people would be celebrating right now, starting the new year with family, friends, and loved ones. But not me. All that occupied me right now was the barely alive body in my hands. My mate's body. "Call your pack doctor! Hurry up!" I yelled at Alpha Drake. I know I wasn't supposed to. He's an alpha after all. But what was I supposed to do? My mate was dying right in front of me. "Why are you standing there? Please, go call him!" I pleaded this time. He looked hesitant, like he didn't care at all. Just what exactly is going on? Why wouldn't he worry about her? Isn't she one of his pack members? "Please!" I begged again, but he still wouldn't move. Now I'm angry. "Move your ass and call the pack doctor right now! Why are you just standing there?" I yelled, using my alpha tone and looking at his face. He was mad too, since he's an alpha as well. "Don't you dare order me in my territory! And why the hell should I call for my pack doctor? I don't give a shit about that pathetic creature. She can die for all I care." My mom gasped. That did it. I carefully placed my mate on my mother's lap, who was now crouched next to me, and with the little control I had against my wolf, I stood up, went towards him, and with no second thought, punched him hard. Not long after, I let my wolf take over, and of course, that good-for-nothing alpha shifted as well. His wolf was big, but not as big as mine. He was light brown in color with black fur covering his ears, paws, and end of tail. He growled loudly, and in return, I growled back even louder as I launched at him. But he dodged my attack and then tried reaching for my neck. I quickly turned my body so he only bit my back. I yelled from the pain, but his attack only made me angrier. Is it possible that he was the one who put my mate in this state? Was he the one who hurt her? The idea of someone hurting my mate made my blood boil. How dare they? We stood there face to face. I growled even louder this time and attacked again. This time he wasn't fast enough and both our bodies collided. From the power of the collision, both our bodies flew across the room and crashed into the window. This made us fly out of it with the shattered glass surrounding us. We both fell on the ground with a thud. I hissed in pain as some glass pierced through my back, and I could hear Alpha Drake grunting in pain too. We didn't linger too much on the ground and rose to our feet. I was going to kill him for hurting my mate. Mine. I could see that both pack members were now surrounding us, watching the fight, and it was more likely now that a war will rise between the two packs. This time, Alpha Drake attacked first and again aimed for my jugular. I moved my body swiftly to the side, which opened a chance for me to grab one of his back limbs between my teeth and pulling, making him fall face flat on the ground. I jumped on his back and pinned both his front paws with mine and locked his neck with my teeth. I was going to go for the kill and get it over with when I heard my mother calling out for me. "Logan, your mate needs you! You have to come up here!" I tightened my hold on Alpha Drake, leaned down to his ear and whispered coldly, "This is not over." And with that I ran toward the pack house and up to my mate's room, where she was still lying there between my mother's arms. "Put her on my back. I'll run to our territory. That way we would reach faster than by car," I told my mom through our mind link. She nodded and with the help of my father placed her carefully on my back. "Jake, call Dr. Mitchell and ask him to be ready in his office." Thankfully, our pack doctor, Dr. Mitchell, didn't come with us to the party. His wife just gave birth, and he wanted to celebrate the new year with his wife and son. "Yes, Alpha," came the reply from my beta. I wasted no time and started running out of the pack house. I noticed my parents had shifted and were now running next to me and Jake behind me to make sure that my mate remained on my back and did not fall. It took us about an hour or so to reach the pack house, and with every move I made, I could hear my mate groan in pain. It broke my heart every time, but it had to be quick in order to save her. I kicked the house door open and called Dr. Mitchell through our mind link. "Over here," I heard him saying from the pack clinic. When I reached there, I saw that he was standing next to the bed, preparing some tools and setting a blood bag above it. My parents and Jake came in their human forms. My dad and Jake had each a pair of shorts on, and my mother was in a long shirt that reached her mid-thigh. Together, they carefully carried my mate from my back and placed her on the bed. "What the hell happened to her?" I heard Dr. Mitchell say as he looked at my mate's body. Her skin was so pale, and scars covered her from head to toe. Her fingernails were turning purple, and she felt so cold. Her lips were also discolored and were cracked open. It was hard to look at her without wanting to kill someone. Why would anyone hurt her? Where were her parents? Did they know about this? Dr. Mitchell started working on her. She removed all of her clothes, if you could call them that, and I had to suppress the growl that was about to escape my throat at the idea that someone other than me was looking at my mate's body. My father and Jake had the courtesy to leave the room, but my mom stayed behind. "You should go shift and come stay by her side. She'll need your support to get through this," I heard her say. I hesitated. I looked at my mate's body, then to Dr. Mitchell, then to her body again. I didn't want to leave her, not for a second. My mom noticed my discomfort as she sighed and said, "Don't worry, Logan. I'm right here, and your father and Jake are just outside the door. Please, you shifting and putting some clothes on won't take minutes." I nodded and made my way to my room. I shifted back and then opened my walk-in closet to find something to wear. "Will she be okay?" I heard Rex, my wolf, ask as I grabbed a pair of my pajama pants and a gray jumper. "Yes, Rex, she will be. She has to be," I said, reassuring myself more than reassuring him. I finished putting on my clothes and wasted no time to head back to the infirmary. "How is she, Mitchell?" I asked as I opened the door and entered. He sighed. "She's hurt pretty badly. She's underweight, lost too much blood, and is in terrible pain. See this?" he said as he pointed to her hip on the right. It was almost fiery red in color and was as big as a watermelon. I felt my heart clench at the thought of what might have caused it. "This here," he continued, "is only about 2 days old. But look at the color and the size. Even a normal human would heal at least 10%. But her body is too weak to even heal itself, at least at normal rate. I had no other choice but to inject her with Lycrone." "What? But isn't that too strong for her? She might die," I asked. "Lycrone is a very strong drug that we use only in severe cases. It helps relieve our pain almost instantly, and with the help of our wolves, heals us. However, it has some side effects as far as killing someone. And that's why I need your blood." I looked at him confused, and when I didn't say anything, he explained. "As you have already noticed, Alpha, your mate is a human and has no wolf. The drug needs werewolf blood to work properly, and hence the use of yours. And since you're an alpha, and hence her mate, so her body will respond better to the drug." Now that I think about it, yeah, she smelled human and had no traces whatsoever that she has a wolf. It's not like I care. She's my mate, and I love her no matter what she is. I nodded my head and lifted my jumper's sleeve. My mate needed my blood, and I'm more than willing to give it to her. Dr. Mitchell inserted a needle into my arm. It was connected to a tube that reached to my mate's arm. We stayed like that for I don't know how much exactly, since I was too busy admiring my mate. Then I heard Mitchell say that he will be removing the tube. "That's good, Alpha. We gave her a sufficient amount of your blood, plus the other 3 bags I already gave her. She will heal properly." I sighed in relief, but knew that it couldn't be happy just yet. No, not with my mate still unconscious. I felt my mom tap lightly on the shoulder. "Good job, son. Your mate will be fine," she said with a smile on her face. I couldn't help but smile back. "Can I take her to our room?" I asked Dr. Mitchell. "It would be better if she lied on a more comfortable bed, stayed right next to me, where I can always be with her." "Yes, let me just place the cast around her wrist and you can take her upstairs. I'll set the IVs up too." I smiled at him and waited rather impatiently till he put on the cast. I would be the first one to sign it, I thought. "All right, all set," Mitchell said, snapping me back from my thoughts. I got up from my seat that was right next to the bed. Carefully and slowly, I placed my hands one under her neck and the other under her waist and picked her up, bridal style. I was sure not to press her body tightly against mine, so that she doesn't feel any pain. "Mom, can you help me prepare the bed, removing the old covers and all?" "Sure," and with that she made her way ahead of me to my room with me following in tow. This time I made sure to walk slower as to not hurt my mate. Eventually, I reached my room where my mom was waiting and gently placed my mate on the bed. I placed pillows all around her to make sure that she slept comfortably. The thought of her on my bed made me want to howl in happiness. I wanted to jump all around the pack house and yell with my highest voice, "I found my mate! Woo-hoo!" But again, that would make my mate wake up and my pack members wouldn't stop teasing me about it till the day I die. Thank God they were still not here, or they would have seen the huge grin I had on my face while carrying her to my room. I couldn't be any happier. After I made sure that my mate was comfortable, I covered her with the blanket and turned to my mom, who was smiling down at me. I returned the gesture and, turning, said, "Thank you, Mom. I'll stay with her now. You can go to Dad and Jake and tell them the good news." "Oh, I sure will," she said in a laughing tone. Of course, my mom won't shut up about it. She's as happy that I found my mate as I am. She turned around but looked at me over her shoulder just before she left the room. "I'm proud of you, son, for caring about your mate like that." My smile widened. She left the room, leaving me alone with my beautiful mate, much to my satisfaction. I wish she would open her eyes and look at me. I miss those mesmerizing blue eyes that captured my soul the very first time I saw them. Gently patting her head and playing with her hair, fatigue soon caught up with me, and not long after, I was in a deep